Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everyone. Today we are from group 2 of group 1 and we'll be presenting about the topic e-waste. Alright, first and foremost, before we go into the topic, I'm going to introduce myself. I am AZMAN binti ROZI with the metric numbers 210073 and I will be explaining about what is e-waste. So e-waste actually is the electronic products that are broken, unwanted, and nearing or at the end of their useful life. So for example, TV, air conditioner, refrigerator, washing machines, or other electronic products that we have in our household. So e-waste are basically divided into two main types, which is e-waste generated from industrial sectors as well as household e-waste. In Malaysia, e-waste is categorized as the scheduled waste under the code SW110, First Schedule Environmental Quality Regulation 2005. Code SW110 actually are defined as waste from electrical and electronic assemblies containing components such as accumulators, mercury switches, glass from cathode ray tubes, and other activated glass. So that's all from me. I will move to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is SITI AIRISHA binti ROSLIM and my metric number is 211359. Today, I'll be talking about the production of e-waste. So as mentioned by AZWA earlier, the generation of e-waste can loosely be categorized into two, which are the industrial sector and the household e-waste. In the production of electronics, companies such as Apple and Samsung contribute to the production of e-waste during the manufacturing process. So manufacturers tend to focus on the cost and time instead of the materials used, which can lead to more materials and resources being used. So some of the materials that are used in the production of these electronics can be replaced with recycled materials. Household e-waste has been increasing due to the technological advancement. So people think that the latest items on the market is better than what they already have. As an example, people might buy the latest iPhone 13 when they already have a phone that works perfectly fine. So the rapid growth of technology and the increasing needs of electronic products worldwide has caused e-waste to be the fastest growing waste problem in the world. 50 million tons of e-waste are produced each year, and it is predicted that it could double up to 120 million tons by the year 2050. The leading country that is producing the most electronic waste in the year 2019 is China, with 10,129 metric tons of e-waste. In Malaysia, it is estimated that we will produce 24.5 million units of e-waste in the year 2025.
With the sheer amount of electronics being produced not only in Malaysia but all over the world, it is very important for us to manage the disposal of those electronics in the form of e-waste. It is because e-waste tends to contain a lot of heavy metals and toxic chemicals that can be dangerous to the environment as well as people. But it is also important to note that with the proper management of e-waste, we can reap significant gains. In an ideal world, all e-waste should be recycled. This is in line with the sustainable development and circular economy concept. Electronics tend to have a lot of valuable metals in them, such as gold, silver, platinum, copper, all of which can be used as secondary raw materials in the production of new products. That's why, as I said before, through proper management of e-waste, we can actually gain a lot of benefits. In Malaysia, e-waste is actually considered a scheduled waste under the Environmental Quality Schedule Waste Regulation 2005. This regulation prohibits any disposal of e-waste to any landfills and makes it compulsory for e-waste to be recycled at prescribed or licensed premises, and any management of e-waste has to be done through an environmentally sound method. Different countries take different approaches in terms of their laws, regulations, and policies for e-waste management. India and Japan, for example, use a more manufacturer-centric approach, In India, the e-waste management and handling rule uses the concept of extended producer responsibility. In this case, producers and manufacturers are expected to financially take care of recycling facilities and collection systems for e-waste. In Japan, it is mandatory for manufacturers to have their own e-waste recycling facilities, and it's also compulsory for them to reach a specific recycling rate for all the products they produce. They also have to declare the materials used in the production of their electronics, be it their toxic chemicals or heavy metals.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is LUQMAN bin AZMAN. My metric number is 211214. First and foremost, I would like to present on the impact of e-waste to public health, where I would like to answer the question of who is affected by e-waste. E-waste affects the human health of residents in places that are heavily involved with technology and electronics production industries, mainly workers and also the people living near the vicinity of the industrial site. Which brings me to the next point. Why is it important to properly manage e-waste? E-waste can actually impact public health in two ways. The first is by food chain issues, where toxic substances contamination occur from the disposal. Thus, the environmental contamination of the e-waste can be transferred to human. And next is by direct impact, where occupational exposure of labor workers in recycling area that is not fully managed effectively or using primitive recycling methods occur in the recycling area. Then, I will elaborate more upon the health hazard that e-waste itself poses upon the public health. Hazardous metallic contaminants results in health hazard due to the environmental contamination from the e-waste management, where lead or Pb is the most widely used among many others toxic heavy metals in the electronics industry. Lead itself can enter the biological system via food, water, air, and soil, where children are conditioned to lead poisoning due to a higher absorption rate from the environment compared to adults, which can affect the blood and nervous system of children. A study conducted in Guiyu, in a province in China, a residential industrial area of electronics, children there are reported to have a higher blood lead concentration than the mean level in whole China. Toxic heavy metals are also reported to be involved in many cases affecting the public health, where diseases such as skin damages, headaches, vertigo, nausea, chronic gastritis, gastric and duodenal ulcer usually occurs in this area. The transfer in human from the e-waste can have a high concentration of toxic contaminants in humans such as blood, serum, hair, scalp hair, human milk, and urine of those exposed, and are also shown that from the resident living in the area where e-waste are being managed. Okay, then I will pass on to my next presenter. Thank you.
Next, I am going to talk about the impacts of e-waste towards the environment. The components of e-waste usually consist of numerous toxic and hazardous materials such as mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic, bromine, and also beryllium. These materials will dissolve in microscopic traces, eventually permeate into the earth and water sources. This is usually known as leaching. Aquatic and human life will be threatened as they will get sick from the lead, arsenic, cadmium, and other metal poisonings due to the high concentration of these minerals in our water supplies and also soil. Very high concentrations of these materials may also cause death.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AZRUL bin ANUAR with the number metric of 212393, and I want to talk about challenge of e-waste management. First is health hazard. E-waste contains over 1,000 toxic material which contaminate soil and groundwater. Exposure can cause headache, irritability, nausea, vomiting, and eye pain. Recyclers may suffer liver, kidney, and neurological disorder due to lack of awareness. They are risking their health and the environment as well. The second one is lack of incentive schemes. There is no clear guideline there for the unorganized sector to handle e-waste. Also, no incentive are mentioned to lure people engaged to adopt formal path for handling e-waste. Working conditions in the informal recycling sector are only slightly worse than in the formal sector. No incentive scheme for producers who are doing something to handle e-waste. That's all for me. Thank you.